Okay, so this is lesson 11. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my balance, but here is the equation. So we have, so my class can go ahead and set this up. So we have 2x equals star plus 6. So what's different about, I don't care about the answer. Eventually I will, but right now that's not what I want to know. I want to know what's different about this equation than other equations that you've done. What do you notice? Danny?
Would you like earlier to be like a star and actually you could like take away the 0 here, but now there's no x on one side and no star on the other side?
Yeah, so it's set up differently because there's x's on one side and stars on the other side. And if you didn't hear what Danny said, he said like in the other equations, there would be an x and a star together, a 0 pair, and we know you can remove a 0 pair without changing the balance of your equation. So this is different. Past legal moves, what are, besides, of course, if you have two number cubes, we know we always subtract the number cubes first, but then what would we typically do? Richie?
We take the star from an x.
Yeah, so like we would either take x's off from each side, or we take stars off of each side, or we would take a 0 pair off, and we don't have that. So I'm going to show you a legal move that will allow you to do that. So does it make sense, knowing what you know about 0 pairs, does it make sense that you could add a 0 pair to either side of the equation without changing the balance of the equation? Does that make sense? Yeah, because it's 0. So just like you can remove 0 pairs without changing the balance, you can also add 0 pairs. But here's what you need to keep in mind. When we're solving equations, we always are going, or we want to, or have to be left with number cubes on one side, right? And pawns on the other. That's how we can tell what the values of x's and stars are. So what are we really, in this equation, what are we trying to get off of the equation, or take off of the equation? We want our number cube by itself. So if, in looking at this, what do we need to remove then in order to get our number cube by itself? Do you guys understand what I'm saying when I say that? Okay, because that's how you can tell the values of your x's and stars. So you're always going to be left with, regardless of what side, left or right, you're always left with x's or stars on one side, and then your number cube on the other. So Maggie, what do we need to remove?
The star.
Yeah, we want to get rid of the star. So in this case, if you're going to add a 0 pair to your equation, you're going to add it to the opposite side of what you're trying to remove. So because my star's on this side and I want to take it off, I'm going to go ahead and add my 0 pair to my left side. By doing that, I've now created my next legal move. So what can I do? I don't know everyone. You guys, I feel really bad. I don't know everyone in Mrs. Loomis's class's names. Can you tell me your name again?
What?
Can you tell me your name again?
My name's Caitlin.
Okay.
I can get rid of a star.
Wait, are you Mike's sister?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So now I can do what?
Get rid of a star and a star.
Right. So now I can take off a star from each side. So now I'm left with 3x equals 6. So x is equal to what? 2. And then to do our check, we'll go back to our original equation, which was 2x equals star plus 6. So we have 2 plus 2 on our left side is 4, right? And then I like to flip it. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could do it either way. So if x is equal to 2, star is equal to what? Negative 2. So you could do negative 2 plus 6, which equals 4. Or you could flip it and do 6 minus 2, which equals 4. So let me just draw it so you guys can see how to show the addition of your 0 pair. So we had 2x equals star plus 6. So our first legal move, we added to the opposite side where our star was. So you're just going to add on your 0 pair and put your arrows pointing down to it to show that you've added it. And then to take it off, our stars, it's the same. You would circle it with your arrows. Okay, so then we knew that x is equal to 2, star equals negative 2. And then this is where sometimes it gets confusing. You might want to start even rewriting your original setup, just so you don't get confused, because remember, this part is your original setup, and this part is, you know, when you're doing your check, so you kind of have to really think about that so that you're not getting your checks wrong. Okay, so our left side was 2 plus 2, which equals 4, and then I'll just flip it around. 6 minus 4 equals 6 minus 2, thank you, equals 4. So there's your check. Does that make sense? Any questions before we do another one? Okay, so let's try another one. So this one, okay, so here we go. 3x equals star plus 4. So if you want to set up your balance, this one's pretty similar to the one we just did. 3x equals star plus 4. So what's the first legal move that we need to do in order to create really a legal move? So what are we going to do first? Tina?
Add a 0 pair.
Okay, so we're going to add a 0 pair. So which side are we adding, left or right?
Left.
The left side, because remember, you always want to have your number cubes by themselves. So when we add a 0 pair to the left side, now what can we do? Ava?
Take a star away from each side.
Now we can take a star off of each side. So now we're left with 4x equals 4. So x is equal to 1, and then star equals negative 1. Good. I'll just draw this out and draw the check out for you. Okay, so we added a 0 pair to our left side. Then we were able to take off our stars. So we know x is equal to 1, star is equal to negative 1. So let's do our check. So our check is 1 plus 1 plus 1 on our left side. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. And then on our right side, if we flip it, 4 minus 1 equals 3 equals 3. Check. Easy? Okay, let's do one more. Last one.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and set up this problem. So we have 3x equals 2 star plus 15. I know you don't have a 15 here, but this makes it easier. 3x equals 2 star plus 15. Okay, so what do we need to do? What are we trying to take off here? Maddie? Yeah, so we want our 2 stars off, so how are we going to do that? What's your name again?
Jacob,
Jacob.
you could add like 2 pairs of the star and X.
What do we call those? Remember?
A 0 pair.
Okay, so we could add 2 0 pairs. Good. So 2 at a time we can add. Which side do we want to do? Left or right? Left. Awesome. So add 2 0 pairs to your left side because it's opposite of where your stars are. Okay, now what can we do? Natalie?
Take away 2 stars from each side.
Good. So now we can take away 2 stars from each side. And now we're left with 5x equals 15. So x is equal to what? 3. And star equals? Negative 3. So one last check. So this time we added our 2 0 pairs. By adding our 2 0 pairs, then we could take off our 2 stars from each side. So then we were left with 5x equals x, or equals 15. So x equals 3. Star equals negative 3. So here's our check. So remember, you go back to the original setup. 3 plus 3 plus 3. So 3 times 3? 9. And then on our right side, 5 minus 3 minus 3. So 5 minus 3? I mean 15 minus 3? Look at that. That's 2 mistakes in one day. Okay, 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 minus 3? 9.
It's Monday.
It's a Monday.
It's gonna be a long Monday. We made 2
Okay,
mistakes.
questions? Anyone? section. Alright, you can turn that off.